Hi there, this is a timeless message for the collective, and the topic that I wanted to cover today is why are twin flames really here at this time on planet Earth? I know twin flames that are seeking answers are finding a lot of material out there on the internet, but nobody, or at least not many people, really cover why twin flames actually reincarnate on Earth, and what their true purpose really is. We get stuck in the cycle of runners, chasers, coming into union, the romantic phase, and there's a lot of misinformation about the runner-chaser dynamic, and, mostly the divine masculine and divine feminines are kind of caught up in that love phase and trying to come into union without really understanding the grander design and purpose for twin flames on Earth. So I kind of wanted to do this video, which is partly built on some of the materials I've already covered. If you haven't had a chance to watch, do go and take a look at my video on resources that I've provided, because that does give you some expanded information on some of the topics that I'm about to cover in this message. So that would be helpful for you to know and understand in a little bit more depth. Now, twin flames are, they reincarnate in various bodies throughout Earth and are positioned by grand design all over Earth in different countries, different religions. But when you break it down to, beyond cultural practices and religious beliefs, and you boil it down to why two individuals who are, there's sometimes an age gap, there are cultural differences, religious differences. So why did these two individuals manage to come together? And mind you, Earth is a very big place. So, to have two individuals be connected the way that they do and be found in exactly the same spot to be able to come into union so randomly is quite the phenomenon. So what is it behind the meeting of these two individuals that's really the key here that we should be talking about when you talk about the twin flames? And everyone, by the way, has a twin, but not all twins are reincarnating at the same time. And so therefore, to actually come together with your twin flame and to bump into them is a very big deal and quite the honor. And it is by grand design and purpose that, these two individuals come to meet each other. Now, most likely you're a twin flame listening to this, you're either the divine masculine or divine feminine, searching for your own answers, trying to make your own progress so that you can come into union. And again, as I mentioned, we do lose sight of what's really happening and why are there so many of us. It is important to note that right now we are currently in the Iron Age. So if you've gone and seen my previous resources video, you will get an introduction to the Golden Age, to the Iron Age. If you haven't done that, please do go take a look. That would be very helpful to you for the purpose of this message. But basically, we are currently in the Iron Age, and in the Iron Age is when majority of the twins actually come together. And so there are a lot more of us than typically as compared to the Golden Age, going to the Silver and Copper Ages. There's a large number of us here on Earth right now during the Iron Age. Now, we know that, twins meet each other and they actually do the work of awakening each other. So what does that really mean, awaken each other? When we know that when twins first come together, they get to experience the first couple of weeks when they initially meet, they get to experience what perfect bliss with another partner feels like. And because most twin flames are meeting at the earliest, probably in their 30s, mostly people that are in their 20s aren't really twin flames. They're 30s and 40s and beyond that really when you get to meet this individual, and they awaken each other onto the journey. And they do that because they experience looking at each other something that they recognize so deeply, and that's actually because your twin is your mirror. So you actually identify your own self within another person. And you can automatically create a distinction between this encounter compared to other relationships you've had. Other individual in a very short time frame allows you to experience what your own godlike frequency feels like. And so that is what you become so attracted to. We know this changes very quickly, and we very quickly move into the runner and chaser dynamic. That's because we are not yet holding a frequency where we can come together. And so very quickly we start to repel each other and start that process of, how can I come into union with that individual? I want to experience them again, but how do I get there? It's up to the twins to shift their external focus and answer the call that's calling them within. And as they do that, they start an awakening process individually. And that looks like, raising your consciousness, raising your vibration and frequency, and you begin to change your body from what we call a carbon body to a light body. Alongside this, twins end up going through an intense process of individual healing, clearing traumas, and karmas. So as you are shifting from this carbon to light body, raising yourself in your, vibration and frequency, and also raising your consciousness, you are basically transforming yourself into a godlike frequency. Twin flames actually carry light codes within them, and when they come into union with each other, they are actually helping the vibration of planet Earth. The intense process that twins are going through by healing at an individual level and changing their frequency at an individual level on a grander design is actually meant to help planet Earth shift in frequency. Now, from my resources that I provided recently, I've shared the different ages, and the purpose of that is to kind of explain what I'm about to share next, is that currently the Earth is actually shifting from the Iron Age and moving into its Golden Age. So in Hinduism and through, sacred texts from the Hindu sacred texts, this is referred to as the Satyuga, which is the Golden Age, and Kali Yuga, which is the Iron and Last Age. So there's a cycle of 4 ages. Now, if you take a look at what happens during these 4 ages, is essentially they go from the Golden Age being the ultimate, most profound age of all 4, which is where the beginning starts, and that the individuals that actually are as part of the Golden Age carry a godlike frequency. So if you actually do some research on Hinduism and the Golden Age, you will find that the inhabitants during the Golden Age actually had very long lifespan. They had godlike consciousness and had no karma. They only had dharma. So if we take a look at the shift that twin flames, and it's not just twin flames, at this time there are light workers, star seeds, other wayshowers that go through a similar process. They just don't have another counterpart that they're supposed to come into union with, but they also go through an ascension process, and they go through, raising their consciousness and discovering who they are at the soul level and coming into union with themselves and divine, and to really know who they are at the soul level. And so they're going through that same light code changing process within their own internal bodies, which together collectively, because remember, as we come into union with ourselves, we come to know that we're not alone. We are one collective consciousness. That's why we call it unity consciousness. So for us to actually enter the Golden Age, what needs to happen? As simple as that. We need to revert back to our God consciousness, which over the period of the 4 ages has been in decline And we go from, in the golden age, the godlike consciousness, and that this drops to the iron age, which all humans are suffering from trauma, a lot of karma. They are going through a disease. Their bodies are in the worst state. Lifespans have shortened. And you could see that greed and lust and anger is at an all-time high. So in order to state Earth back to its godlike frequency and godlike consciousness, we need to go through a process of disintegration where we break down the old and come back into the new. So that is kind of the individual process that we're going through. This is a massive planetary shift that's happening at this time. If you just take a look at the world and the state that it's in right now, what do you see? You see countries going against other countries. We're on the brink of World War III. We see there's pain, suffering, bombings. We're ready to use nuclear weapons against each other. And so to break away from that consciousness, which is so individual, full of greed at the individual level, we need to raise the vibration of the planet, bring more light to the planet so that the darkness could be moved out. And the way that we do that is through our individual ascensions, then recognizing ourselves at the soul level and realizing that we're all one. And we're able to then now take this new states of frequency into the coming golden age. As your Kundalini awakens on the twin flame journey, this is an accelerated process, as I have mentioned in my previous videos. When you are on a spiritual journey, the process to seek God within can take you a very long time. It could take a couple of months to a couple of years, and some people aren't able to establish that in a lifetime, and then they reincarnate again and start that process again. When twins go through a Kundalini awakening, they actually experience an accelerated ascension and are able to accomplish this journey from the base of your spine to the third eye and crown chakra in a much accelerated manner. So twin flames are able to accomplish, if they practice this right, they can actually experience, union with self and self-mastery at a much faster and accelerated pace than others. And therefore they're here at this time acting as leaders for others, helping them on their journey. Because the more people that we have that awaken to their true self and God consciousness, they will be able to transition to the new earth, which starts the cycle of the golden age. If you take a look at what the golden age really represented, it's about collective consciousness. It's about helping other people understanding that they're all one, and therefore free of trauma, free of any karma, and they call it dharma. Dharma is when you are just doing the godlike thing in every decision that you make because you're connected with God, and therefore you understand what's right, what's wrong, and are able to take and make more conscious decisions, recognizing your true identity and the identity of others. Okay, so just to recapture that very quickly, why twins are really here are to first and foremost come into union with their own self, and then come into union with their twin, and then step into their divine mission, which is to help the collective awaken as well. We are now going through a massive transition for the planet Earth and moving in from the Iron Age into the Golden Age. And in order to step into the Golden Age, we must be first awakened at the soul level and understand what unity consciousness is. It is recognizing that we are all one and we are here to help each other. And that is how we step into the new earth. Through our own individual awareness, we are able to raise the earth's frequency and help awaken the planet. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for listening. God bless.